You're getting off track with Josh and Justin.
And we're back again.
Yes, we are.
You didn't beat me this time. Lots happened in the 1 week we didn't podcast.
Yeah.
Ebola has taken over. The Walking
Watch
Dead
yourself.
is back. Maybe the two are connected.
Ooh.
But yeah, so we're back. We just it's been a busy couple of weeks at our regular jobs. We've been working overtime.
has.
We've been like and it just what you get done doing all that extra work, you don't get off till 6 or 7 at night. We love you to death, but we really just don't feel like podcasting.
Actually, it was later than that because we had a trade show we had to work last week, and we didn't get off until it was 9 until we got back.
I had to dress up like Paul McCartney, but I looked much more like Roy Orbison.
Yeah.
Josh looked like Garth Brooks. I'd be like, or John Mayer. You were like a 90s country artist. Like if someone was like, who is Josh? I don't know if he's a person. He's a 90s country artist.
I said let's go with Daryl Singletary because he had a beard.
Somebody had said that. Yeah, I could agree with that. I forgot about old Daryl.
Yep.
But yeah, so we've been busy. We apologize for skipping you for a week, though. I'm sure like the one or two of you that listen are like, didn't even notice you were gone.
I know, my mom was sad.
My dad was like, what? But yeah, The Walking Dead's back. Josh doesn't watch it, even though I've been begging him to watch it for the longest time, which I have hope, because he doesn't let me spoil it. Whenever I go to spoil it and say, blah, 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 he's like, I still haven't ruled out that I'm not going to watch it. So,
right.
We're just... And I'm the same way when someone wants me to watch a show, though. I never just dive into it the next day, because that's a commitment. It's like a new relationship.
It is.
When you commit to Netflixing a show.
Yes.
Or binge watching a show.
We're talking about how a few weeks ago I just got Netflix. I've had it for like a month now. And I know I've had it for a month because my renewal thing.
Was my recommendation correct? Is it awesome?
Yes, it is. Very much worth the...
$8?
Yeah. Actually, mine's $9 because I have it streaming to 2 TVs.
Oh, okay.
But very much worth the $9. And I know I've had it for a month because I had to pay the $9 again yesterday. So, yeah, but it's like I'm not against watching The Walking Dead. It's just so many other shows that I've neglected that I'm not watching from past years that are on Netflix. And I'm like, I'm watching these first.
It's like catching up with an old friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a commitment when you commit to binge watching a show.
It is.
My friend Joey, that's been on the podcast now, I believe 2 times. It's really, I need to get my own Netflix because I use Joey's, but it's because it started off with Joey saying, hey, watch this show. And then I'm saying, well, I don't have Netflix. And then him saying, just use mine, and I would log into it and watch. And really, it's every once in a while I might watch something that isn't, but the majority of what I watch on there is stuff that it shows that he's wanted me to watch so we'd have something to, talk about. And that's how that goes. But it is, when you make a commitment to getting into a new show, it's like you're starting a relationship with a stranger.
The best way for me to really watch a show and binge watching it, I need 2 or 3 days of nothing to do at all, except just watching TV.
Mine are when we have slow weeks at work and we actually, you get off on time, and I get home at 3:30, and I have until, because even though we get up early and we get off early, I still can't go to sleep before 11,
right.
10:30. I can try to put myself to bed by 10. I think I read a report too, random fact, that as far as our time zone, the best time to go to sleep is to be asleep by 11. Between 11 and some early morning hour, 1, 2, 3 is when your body does all of it. Most of it's recharging. So if you can go to bed by 10 or 10:30 and be asleep by 11, then you've gotten about the best night's sleep that you're going to get.
That seems legit.
So I don't stay up. I don't go to bed too early. So I stay up a little later. So I have from 3:30 on, so I can watch an entire season in one night.
The best way for me to do Beth needs to go away for the weekend. If she goes somewhere with her friends, and then I have all Saturday to do nothing. Mm-hmm. Get up Saturday morning and just start binge watching a TV show. That's the way I like to do it. Well,
I'm going to tell you, The Walking Dead's season premiere was fantastic. It was one of the best. It was probably the best season premiere they've ever had. I won't even say probably. In my book, it was the best season premiere they ever had. It was one of the best episodes they've ever had. Because The Walking Dead likes to tease you like some shows do. They go through a few months, and then they basically make you wait through like a mid-season break, and then they come back for a few episodes, and they make you wait like another 8 months till they come back. So they've got a lot to do to make that 8 months worth the anticipation, and they definitely did.
I was going to say, judging by my Facebook feed, I thought everyone thought it was like the best ever.
It was really good. I mean, it just had everything. It had emotion. It had action. It had crazy story. It had characters being the best they've ever been. I mean, it was really good. I would highly suggest. And then, like I said, you got Ebola seems to be spreading, which I think that I would like to think that Ebola, it's a serious thing and it's nothing to joke about, but I think that hopefully it's not going to spread at the rate that people think it is.
No.
Because you have to have skin-to-skin contact to spread it, I believe. It's not like, I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere very recently. Like, it's not something someone's going to go in your vicinity.
Right.
And you're going to catch it from them. So,
did you see on the news the other night when they were transferring that nurse that has it from plane to plane?
With that guy out there with no suit?
Yeah.
I only saw a picture of that. Explain that to
you're
me.
An idiot.
What was his
CDC
story?
was like, oh, well, he maintained a safe distance. I'm like, the photo and video I saw, like, he was pretty much up on her. And it's like, it's like she was in a suit as well, but it's like, but she contracted the virus in a quarantine contained environment.
True. On The Walking Dead, they mentioned Ebola in the very first season because they go to the CDC.
The Walking Dead spreading it.
It could be. That'd be the worst. That'd be the worst time someone's ever done something. What is it called? Promotional build-up.
Yeah.
Where they're like building up the return of their show. That would be terrible. It's like we wanted to get everyone excited for the show, so we spread Ebola. Woo-hoo! But it was it's Ebola was mentioned in the last episode of season 1 of The Walking Dead because they're at the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, and the guy is explaining why the CDC's done some things that they've done, and he's, explaining, he's like, you know what we have down here? Ebola strands that could wipe out, an entire country or something to that effect.
Right.
And then here we are 4 seasons later, and it's gotten out, apparently.
I don't think people's making this big hoopla about, it can spread, so fast and they'll wipe America out. I don't think so. I'm just see like people on the news like reading reports, and it's like I get it. This is a serious matter, but I don't think it's something like it's going to wipe America out. That's why I've stopped watching like major news networks. Yeah. I just watch the local news, and that's it.
I mean, it's one of those things where I've always thought the people that are like, I just don't even get into politics. A while back, I used to think, that, well, you should. I mean, you should always know what's going on. Or they say, I don't watch the news. I used to think, you should. You should always know what's going on, at least have an opinion.
Right.
Even if you keep it to yourself. You know what's happening. But at the same time, I now see why some people do that. It's just stressful. I mean, I've stressed more over things that have no effect on me.
Right. And I don't know, to me, it's just beating the same dead horse
really
over
is.
and over and over.
Life's too short to watch the news and get that angry.
It's like, yes, I understand there's bad stuff happens in the world and you have to report on that and there's horrible situations. But do we have to talk about it nonstop? It's like my perfect and ideal news network would be, let's say, all the horrible stuff that happens in the world, you devote like 5 minutes to talk about each one. You get the facts, you interview somebody, yada, yada, yada. Then move on. Let's not talk about it for 4 hours. Then like, oh, and by the way, this little 6-year-old girl beat cancer. Now let's go back to talking about this horrible crap again. And then let's talk about this for another 4 hours. And then when we get done talking about this horrible thing, we're going to talk about this other horrible thing for another 4 hours.
Oh, definitely. Little Betsy beat leukemia. Now back to our headlining story that we know you really want to hear. Massive zombie Ebola people are taking over the world.
Right.
Yeah, no. Did you see the thing? I love my sister to death. I love all my family members to death. So if you're listening, Jesse, sorry. But there was these articles floating around on Facebook about Ebola zombies.
Right.
Did you see that?
I saw that.
That they were rising from the dead and all of this. And my sister had commented on one and tagged me in it and said, Justin, what do you think about this? Being that I am the big zombie fan.
But I didn't really read into it.
Well, being that the big zombie fan that I am, she tagged me to ask my opinion on it. And I said, my thoughts are, you shouldn't believe everything you read on the internet. because at least one of those pictures was a picture of a zombie from the movie World War Z. It's like if you saw the movie, you could clearly remember it was the one that I used to say looked like Michonne, kind of like Michonne off The Walking Dead. She was freaky in the movie. She was standing behind like this glass thing, just staring at him, and it was creepy. But like I knew when I saw that, I was like, World War Z. Well, wouldn't that be something? Ebola Zombies.
I also saw that where someone had like took some news story from over there in West Africa and like twisted and turned it, and that's where they had come up with their whole it's called the rise from the dead. And what had happened was but what the real news story was, and if I had time, I'd thought about it and dug it up on the internet and found it. But someone had contracted, like two or three people in this town had contracted this disease where it basically makes your body go into a coma-like state. Mm-hmm. And people had mistaken them for being dead and buried them.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of things like that.
And like one of them, like, because over there, they're not, I guess they didn't bury them in coffins. They just kind of put them in a little bag and throw them in the ground. Mm. So they came, like, they weren't dead. So like, they was like trying to get out of the graves, like, oh my God, they're coming back from the dead. And it's like, no, you just buried them alive.
Hey,
that's all.
That's where the term "Saved by the Bell" comes from. Is when you were back in the days when they used to bury people, they had so many instances where they would have to dig up a body for whatever reason and find claw marks on the inside and realize, oh my God, this person came back to life and then died in this coffin. So they would make bales that would run down to the end. If you woke up, and they said you would be surprised at how many of those bales actually did ring. Because back in the day, they didn't have the tests and monitors and EKGs and things that we do now to clarify this person's dead. You know, there's no brain activity, there's no heartbeat. Back then, it was just putting your finger here, and if you touch the wrong spot, you're like, I don't feel a pulse.
Well, there's certain things that your body can get that can slow your pulse rate down so much that you would think they're dead.
Yeah, exactly. And there are conditions that make people appear dead, and they're not. So I can't imagine how many people were actually buried alive. We need to look up some cases of that because next week's the Halloween podcast.
This is right. Do you know that these people out there was their job to sit in graveyards and listen for the bells? It's like, what would you do? It's like, oh,
graveyard.
God.
Hey, that's also where the term graveyard shift comes from. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure both graveyard shift and Saved by the Bell come from those scenarios.
So that would be a horrible job, though. Like you hear a bell ringing, like your only job is to get you a damn shovel and you start digging
that dude up or that chick. Yeah, that would be rough. I would still feel worse for the person in the coffin, though.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
I'd much rather be. It's like, okay, let's trade places.
My luck, this would be my luck. I would be trying to dig them out. And in the process, because, like, back in the olden days, and if you look at a lot of old graveyards, you'll see where the grave is sunk in.
Ye olden days.
Like, you'll see like a tombstone and the grave's kind of like in a low spot. And that's because the weight has crushed the coffin or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, so it's just falling in on the person.
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you hate to be like, my luck, I would be like trying to dig them out and be standing on the wrong spot and end up like the weight shifts and crushes them like, okay, it stopped ringing.
All right.
Start putting the dirt back. Someone comes around, I heard a bell ringing. No,
I bumped into it. I just bumped into it.
No, like, well, what do you, false alarm. False alarm.
That would suck. That would really, really suck.
That would be my luck.
Yeah, my luck would be I'd be the one in the coffin, and then it's like, oh, I could, like, I imagine you probably couldn't hear, but, like, I could hear somebody digging above me, and I'm like, yes!
That would be freaky, though, because think about it. It's not like you can, it would probably take you a few minutes to register where you were at.
Oh, I'm sure. And then think about them old coffins. They were teeny. I mean, coffins themselves aren't that big when you're closed up inside of one.
You're in a small wooden box, and all of a sudden you wake up, and pitch black. You can't even see your hand in front of your face. You can barely move around.
You probably think you're in hell. You know what I mean? You probably think that you're just... I couldn't imagine what that would be like.
Yeah, I wonder if your mind would register you're in a coffin, or if you're it's like someone has locked you up in a building or something.
Ryan Reynolds had a movie about that, where he was buried alive, and it was kind of good, but it also was kind of terrible. I wouldn't want to be in that.
What movie was it called?
I think it was called, like, Buried. Or something. I don't know if you.
That would make sense.
I can't remember what the name of that is. I'll look that up and see what it is. But yeah, so let's. What else is going on? Let's see. Gay marriage is now allowed in Virginia.
Yep.
That's something I don't know if that had happened before or after. It If that happened in the week since the last podcast we've done, it's a lot that's happened in the week.
It is.
That we didn't podcast. Let's see here. I'm going to find the name of this Ryan Reynolds movie.
Yeah, you do that because I don't kind of want to watch it now.
No, don't.
I just said half of it was good.
It is, but still.
I watched the good half. You tell me what was the good half, and I'll watch that part.
Yep, it's called Buried.
Buried.
That's
right.
Yep, Buried. That's what it's called. And yeah, it's kind of good, kind of not. I'm a Ryan Reynolds fan. I think most of everything he does is really good. He's just such a charismatic actor. I would love to have seen him as Deadpool.
He plays, and I don't care what kind of role it is. He does a serious role good, does a funny role good.
Safe House with Denzel Washington was freaking awesome.
It's some movie that Beth likes that he's in, the Sandra Bullock movie where
The Proposition or something like that.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
It's like that movie's enjoyable just based on his wit and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what Joey had told me because I thought it was a chick flick and really didn't care to see it. And then because Joey's a huge movie show buff, all that, and he had told me, he was like, it's actually not bad. You should watch it.
Yeah,
and I watched it. It was pretty good.
Because Beth was like, watch this movie. And I was like, no. And she's like, it's not bad. So I was like, fine. And I was like, actually, it's not that bad.
You know what I was told I should watch last night?
What's that?
I was told I should watch The Fault in Our Stars.
What is that?
You're joking. You never heard of that?
No.
Oh, man. The Fault in Our Stars is that, it's a movie about cancer, and it's really, really sad. It's known for being sad. I've seen a meme where it was water running, and I don't know what in real life was causing this, but it was water running out from under a theater door, and it was when the theater plays Fault in Our Stars, because it's really sad. They say boyfriends that go with their girlfriends to see it cry.
Oh.
So I didn't want to see it. It's not one of those cheesy Nicholas Sparks, and I know that there are ladies watching that are like, oh, ladies, if you were in my position, you'd hate Nicholas Sparks too.
Right.
Or hate his books. I don't hate him.
Can I tell why? Why we should hate? This is why guys hate Nicholas Sparks, because he makes these unrealistic expectations of a relationship that no guy on the face of the earth can ever achieve.
Nope. No guy ever can achieve. No guy should ever have to achieve.
And women can stand and say all day long, I'm not saying all of them, but most of them I don't have those expectations.
Well, here's the problem. They wait for these relationships that'll play out like a love story that are never going to happen, because I'm not saying it doesn't ever but on average it's not going to happen, because it would not be interesting in a book if it happened every day.
Right.
I don't write a book called My Day. I wake up, eat breakfast, go to the radio station, eat lunch, come home, make a podcast. That would be boring. It's
fiction for a reason. Fiction means not real.
And some girls might be thinking that listen to this thinking, well, that's certainly not me. Good, because I have met people that just have extremely unrealistic expectations, and it's love movies too. But Nicholas Sparks is just, every time I turn around, I'm a huge Josh reads a lot too. I go to Barnes & Noble a lot. Josh is got Amazon on lockdown when it comes to books.
Yeah, and use books right there.
And I'm going to start doing that myself. But every time I go to Barnes & Noble, it's like Nicholas Sparks, brand new, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh god.
Right, and what's even worse to me is they make his books into movies.
I know, just let them lie.
It's the same story told in a different setting with different characters.
My girlfriend was telling me, I said the same thing, and she's like, no, they're different, and started explaining the plot lines. I was like, don't want to see that one. Don't want to see that one.
It's like being the good husband and boyfriend that I've been for the past 8 years. I like to think I've been a good one. I've watched Nicholas Sparks movies. I haven't read the books, but I've watched the movie adaptations to them at least once. And they're all the same.
Have you ever seen Honest Trailers?
Yes.
Have they ever done a Nicholas Sparks movie?
They should.
We need to look that up.
Lord, they should.
Because if they hadn't, they definitely should. I would love to see that.
It's like I like action movies, and get a lot of action movies have similar plots and stuff like that. But these movies have the exact.
I never thought we'd find each other. Like some inspirational music. Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. I always feel like as a man, he took the cheap way out as an author.
Yes.
I know that's bad, and I know that he is way better off than I am. And I would have done it too if I was him. But being that I'm not from the outside looking in, I told Joey, and maybe I'm wrong, but I've always been a writer. I feel like I could crap out one of these love stories.
Yes.
It's like, okay, here's the deal. Guy, girl. Crazy circumstances in life are going to bring them together. Then one of them's going to die at the end. True love. The end.
Or you could have one that's like, guy, girl, crazy circumstances. He wants her love. She's too emotionally damaged to trust him.
From her last relationship. To trust him. Exactly.
He goes above and beyond to win over her love. The end.
And let me tell you, and I've talked to you about this, but let me tell you, again, the hell that I'm stuck in. So I made a deal with my girlfriend to get her to watch The Walking Dead.
A deal with the devil.
To watch The Walking Dead. Okay. In return, I have to watch Gilmore Girls with her.
Oh,
I had no idea what I was getting into. If I was a female, I would probably love that show.
Right.
As a man, I utterly despise it.
You should have, ran that by me. You should have, called me and said, listen, I'm about to make a deal.
It's like I'm not downing
anybody. You should have phoned a friend on that one, because I could be like, listen, trust me, I've been on that deal before with the Gilmore Girls. It's not worth it.
It's like, I understand why she likes it. I mean, if I were a girl, I would like it too. It's just not a show. Like, at one time it went off, and it was the behind the scenes, and the writers were like, this show, you think it's written for girls, but it's really catered to all audiences. Baloney.
Yeah, what?
The New Girl is a show that comes on that I thought was a girl show. After watching it, realized that is exactly what Gilmore Girls said they were. That The New Girl is geared towards guys, girls. It don't matter. Just the title has the name girl in it.
Say Gilmore Girls is made for everyone, and say Family Guy is written as a drama.
Yeah. And I try to watch it, right? And the thing, my girlfriend, she keeps getting, she gets on me and she hates it when I talk crap about Gilmore Girls. Like, if she's listening to this, she's probably going to hate it. But, it's one of those things where I just feel like the girl cheats in the show, and it's like, oh, she's confused. She doesn't know what she wants out of life, and you're supposed to be accepting of it. And she keeps going, nobody said that. I'm like, no, but they imply it with all the la, 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 la bullcrap. I hate the music in that show.
And there's no one, if her friends were true friends, this was real life, someone should be guilt tripping the shit out of her for all this cheating she's doing. But like you said, no.
She's confused. It's like in the show, and she did go, I will say, and it's sad that I even know this, but like I said, I struck a deal to watch The Walking Dead, which she watched by herself. She was supposed to watch it with me. She went home and watched it all alone for the most part.
She broke the rules.
And now I have to sit. It has taken us probably 6 months to watch 3 seasons because I just procrastinated so bad because I do not like Gilmore Girls. In the show, the girl did apologize and told the good guy that she was sorry for the way she had done him and all that. So it got back in my, I don't like it, but it got back in my good graces once that happened. I was like, okay, thank you, God. They finally admit that she screwed him over. Because it's like in the show, you had this good guy that built her a car, treated her right, was good to her family, or her mom anyways, just was like the guy that every girl claims they want.
Right, but doesn't go for.
Right, and then, of course, they leave him for this little piece of crap bad boy, and
typical girl situation.
And look at me, see, if my girlfriend's listening, I hope you know what you've done. You've got me talking about Gilmore Girls on a podcast, but that was the deal I struck up, and I just told her, I said, they might not be saying it, they're implying that, it's like, oh, she's confused, but in a show, if a dude cheats on a chick, oh, boy.
Oh,
he's a monster.
He's a jerk.
Once a cheater, always a cheater. He ain't never going to be nothing, blah, blah, blah. He's the bad guy now. Which, to keep in mind, the show was filmed back in, 2000, 2001, 2000. I mean, it's old. I mean, it's been out for a long. I think it started in 2000. I'm in season 3, so maybe 2000. And
I'm not an expert on the Gilmore Girls
I'm not either.
Time period. It's just while you were talking about that, this was transpired in my mind. Let me tell you the bad side of Nicholas Sparks movies or books and what they cause.
Okay.
I'm going to show you the snowball effect. And you may have thought about this, but if you haven't, let me blow your mind for a second.
Mm-hmm.
And how this ties into the rest of our life. Nicholas Sparks' books. Girls read it, get these little ideas and mindsets in their head. Maybe they don't play them out in their mind and think well, I want to make my boyfriend do this or do that. Maybe they don't. But somebody along the lines does.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what that someone does?
What do they do?
They get on social media, whether it be Twitter, Facebook or some website, and they have a blog, and they write one of those little articles that says 18 things every boyfriend should do.
Oh, God, yeah.
And then they post that, to which another girl that's probably seen a Nicholas Sparks movie or some sappy movie along the same lines, reads that and goes, oh, my God, you're right, because they already have that little stuff implanted in their mind. So what do? They, in return, share that with the phrase, OMG, this is so true, to which 200 other more of their friends are going to see that and share it. So now we have this big collective he-woman man-hating club that has this unrealistic expectations of a relationship they will never find.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that still either bitch and complain about their boyfriends or husbands, whatever it is, or that nonstop where they say, I just can't find a man that's good enough for me.
Right.
Let me tell you what. If that...
Makes you mad.
Let them make a movie about a woman that watches sports with her man, that fixes him food, like drinks beer with him, burps, shoots guns, and likes to drive cars fast. Every guy be like, I can't even find a girl that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Like, if I want to hold it to that expectations, you're never going to find anybody. So, Nicholas Sparks, thanks for ruining reality for the rest of us. You jerk.
My relationship advice is always just the most simple. Are you happy? It's like, and I say that, though, I'm not married and everything else, but still, but people overthink things. Like, Joey had told me that he had heard a girl that said something like, oh, if my engagement ring ain't even a carrot, I won't be his wife.
Oh, yeah.
And then Joey had the best point. Joey said, well, then you shouldn't get married. I don't know if he told the girl that, but he was telling me, that's the way he feels, is that if that's your viewpoint on it, then you shouldn't be getting married. You're getting married for the wrong reasons. That you shouldn't. I mean, it's like a ring, yes, of course. I mean, it's like I can understand if your boyfriend doesn't give you or your fiance doesn't give you a ring, you feel like he half-assed it. I get that. But to be like, oh, no, that's not expensive enough. I don't want your hand in marriage.
Right.
I don't care how much money I make. And it's like if I was rich, I probably would spend a lot of money on an engagement ring just because I have the money to blow. But that shouldn't be what they expect. And on top of that, the simplest relationship advice there is are you happy? I can understand a girl whose boyfriend won't get a job,
right,
is a bum, and it's like they're happy with them as far as they love them, but they're not going. I get that. That's a whole different scenario. But as far as just the genuality of, well, he don't do every little thing and blah, 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 are you happy? Do they make you happy? Do you enjoy being around them? Do you miss them when they're gone? Yes. Then what more is there to question in the relationship?
You know what it just flat out boils down to on that part? I totally agree. It's just common sense.
Yep.
It's like common
Trust
sense.
your gut on relationships. If you like someone and it's just a feeling and it's not something you have to force, you spend your whole life chasing these expectations. And it's one thing to say, I don't mind when a girl says, I've got certain expectations in a sense. Maybe they want them to have a job to show that they're not a bum. They want them to be respectful. I understand little things girls look for. Right. Is he nice to his mom? Blah, blah, blah. Because I think girls really like it when you get along with your mom. Things like that. But when it comes down to this list, and I know the ones you're talking about because I've seen them, these giant lists of little things. Does he open the door for you? Does he still rub your back? When you seem upset, does he give you a foot? Stupid stuff that it's like, I don't understand where girls go thinking that we're psychics.
And I don't know why, but I always get sucked into reading them just because I want to read those unrealistic expectations. And I wish that would be somebody that would reply back. And maybe one day I'll be ballsy enough that I'll get a blog account or I'll get a website.
We should start a blog, too, to go along with the podcast.
Rebuttal those. Because it's like something I could tear those down. It was one the other day that said 21 things all husbands should do for their wives. And I went like, that would be awesome. I would do every last one of them every day if I didn't have a life or a job. If my whole career in life I sat at home and catered to my wife, I would do every last one of them. Sad reality of it is, I have to work for a freaking living.
The girls that do read Nicholas Sparks books and stuff like that, and I know that it's far more. I know there are tons of romantic novels. Nicholas Sparks is just the target of our aggression because we hear his name the most.
Right.
Give us another author, and
I'll hate on him too.
Hate on them too. But any girls that do, or females that do watch and read these things and do not get it realistic, because I know some girls that are into Nicholas Sparks that are really good girlfriends. You're excluded. We're talking about
Right.
the girls that just get,
My wife reads.
You know who we're talking
My
to.
wife reads Nicholas Sparks, but she enjoys them. She likes their movies, but she doesn't have these unrealistic
Well,
expectations.
my girlfriend reads love stories, and she doesn't have unrealistic. She's very laid back,
But yet, but on
which
the
is my
side
favorite
note,
quality. Just
your expression right there was too funny. I wish I could have seen that. But side note, she does have some friends that, like, in their conversation, like through dinner, we all go out. The guys are talking. That I can hear them talking. It's always the ones that's single, and it's
Yeah.
like, do you realize
the ones that are single have the best relationship advice?
right? They have the best relationship advice, and their standards are set so high. It's like the high jump in the Olympics. There's nobody going to ever get over that freaking bar.
Oh.
Like this one. I don't think they're friends anymore. But at one time, she was if I get married, my husband's going to get this. It's like the whole diamond ring thing. Mm-hmm. He's going to have to buy me like this kind of car. And he better make this much money a year. And I need martini time. Like, do you realize my words are words? I was like, do you realize you are going to be? No, I said, you better learn to play cards. She was like, why? I said, because you're going to be an old maid. You are never going to be married.
Boom.
Never.
Yeah, unrealistic expectations out the window, ladies. And this is, sorry if this, I thought this was funny, Josh. I meant to show you this the other day. I thought you'd think it was funny. Girls, I do apologize if you find this offensive. Any of you that listen enough should know that we definitely are not sexist at all.
We love sex.
We don't discriminate against sex. But it was like, if women ran NASA or something, and it was like, Houston, we have a problem, and it was like, what? And it was like, never mind. It was like, what's going on? Don't worry about it. Oh, come on, tell us. No, I'm fine. I thought that was so funny. But yeah, that's another thing, ladies. When you're upset about something, we're pretty much cavemen in that aspect.
Right.
You have to. I understand you want your man to figure it out, but
Guys are horrible with subtle hints.
I don't pick up on them. All I've picked up on, it's like, and I'm not talking about my girlfriend. I'm just talking about any relationship in general. Every you hear it from all. It's like we don't. All I know is that you seem to be not talking as much as you were before.
I'll give some. I'll talk about my relationship here really quick because Beth she don't care. And when she gets mad, the only thing I can figure out is that she is mad. I know you're upset.
Yeah,
but it would be a whole lot quicker, and I could rectify the situation a whole lot faster if you would just tell me what it's about.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to figure this out on my own. I'm not a bloodhound. I can't put my nose to the ground and find my trail and figure out what's going on.
Exactly.
Tell me.
Just tell us what's wrong. As we get ready to leave the podcast, we'll say, ladies, bring those unrealistic expectations back down to reality. Not all ladies, obviously, but those of you that we're talking about. If this offends you, we're probably talking about you.
Yeah, you are the one.
Those that I know some. I am fortunate to say that I know some really cool girls, that are very good girlfriends to the boyfriends, all of that. So you guys are excluded. Don't worry about it. We're talking about girls like I was talking about what Joey had said, So, yeah.
To be fair, in another week or two, we should hate on guys that have unrealistic
Oh, for sure. We can do that.
Yeah,
absolutely. So
girls,
girls,
don't think ladies were singling you out and leaving out the guys. No, we try to keep these around 30 minutes.
We can get next week's Halloween podcast, but the week after that, we'll have the He-Man hating club.
Yeah,
we'll because there are tons of things that we do that are just or that we expect out of women that are just ridiculous. I mean, you're expecting every woman to be a gourmet chef,
right? Not
every female is.
So, ladies, like I said, don't think we're hating on you and leaving out the guys. That's coming up. We just try to keep these in a limited time manner, so we couldn't hate on everybody.
We don't hate anybody except Nicholas Sparks.
Right. Loser.
Well, that's going to wrap up this week's podcast. You have anything else to say in closing?
No.
All right, everybody else, have a fantastic week.
Later.
We'll see you next time.